I left random gifts for my neighbor, to stop myself from stealing. When I worked an evening job, I would often get home late and have to park in the back lot of my apartments. I would pass this one door with a small table set up. The table had a bunch of little figurines and knickknacks, stuff that was exactly my style. There were little gnomes, mushrooms, frogs, you name it. The chaos goblin in my head would say, "Take something." There were no cameras, no one was ever around, it would have been so easy. I started to get worried that I, a 40-year-old mother, was going to actually steal from this person. I struggle with impulse control. Finally I figured out the solution: introduce chaos and get the sweet dopamine by leaving things there instead. Obviously I have my own extensive collection of random objects I have impulse bought over the years, so I grabbed a few that fit the aesthetic and put them in my purse. The first time it was a small frog and a carved resin rose. I set them on the table and scurried home. A few days later, I passed by again and they were moved. The frog was on a toadstool, and the rose was in a shrub. Over a few months I left more gifts now and then. They would be arranged nicely when I saw them again. But I started to get worried that I might be creeping the person out. And I am really nosy and I wanted to know who they were. I didn't want to just knock on the door and confess, so I devised a plan. In my town, a group of people will paint small rocks, then leave them to be found in random places. There is a message on the back with the Facebook page of the group. People who find a rock will post where they found it, then leave it somewhere for the next person. I had one such rock in my possession. I left the rock on the table and then waited, stalking the Facebook page. To my delight, the rock appeared after a few weeks. My neighbor was happy, inspired to start painting her own rocks, and seemed to be a kindred spirit, as suspected. I snooped on her Facebook profile enough to feel like she probably wasn't worried that her secret gifter was a stalker ex or something, but I didn't try to friend her or anything like that. I continued to leave things occasionally, but we ended up moving a few months later. I did leave a note at that point explaining a little of who I was, but not that I was planning crimes originally, and then stalking her on social media. I just didn't want her to wonder about it forever.